Good morning, YouTube. Alrighty, we're getting together here. We're doing a reading for somebody, so I went ahead and just kind of post it online, make it easier for this person because things have just kind of been a little difficult on that front, trying to get everything to work. Facebook is not being very cooperative this morning. So anyway, doing a reading for S today, and S is asking about a relationship marriage question. So we did a basic Celtic cross spread here today, and then we're going to do a couple, basically oracle cards to kind of fill the space of her and her partner, and then we're going to kind of share the channel messages that we're getting. So the first card is the basis of the relationship, and it is going to be the Ten of Pentacles. Now, the channel message here is, it's specifically talking in your direction here. When you went into this marriage, your heart was completely open. You were going into it on a I need to find my life path partner. This is who I need to have. This is who I need to be with. This is really important. Give me one second. All right. So anyway, this is going to be really important. Is your initial inventory that you went you went into there in a 50-50 mentality, but you were incredibly love struck puppy. Uh, and that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. You were going into it from a position that you had to be in to be a good equatable partner. That's the most important part too. Now, what is end up crossing at here? Well, your faith and your trust in that marriage was the most important thing. It's symbolized by the master, which is it's the source. It's the ultimate God, spirit, person of faith that we can talk about here. He's the alpha to the omega. So it was really important for you to not only go into this marriage, but go into it in a position where all the chips were on the table. You were literally all in, invested on it, which I think is not necessarily a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. So the basis of the reading, though, is control. It's control. It is coming together and really being in a grounding position where everything is communicated openly and honestly, and where there's equal participation. So right now, it feels like there's not. It feels like there's a lot of coming and going. It feels like there's a lot of defensiveness. Um, I'm specifically seeing egos that are attacked and damaged on his end, and I also see a lack of communication skills that are there right now. One thing I do want to point out though is a lot of this is genetic. Um, so I'm not saying as an excuse, but I'm saying as kind of a parameter here, is understand, what your partner is going into, understand where they are in their life cycle. Um, that's kind of one of the things I want to communicate here. Uh, yeah, we're gonna leave it at that here. The other part of this card too is specifically making sure that you need to be in the middle, grounded around you, and be in a safe spot to where you can both hear and communicate, and where you can also take in information. So this is talking about an equal partnership. This is the importance of it here. Um, but you can't be an equal partner if you're the one dictating 80% of the conversation or 80% of the decisions, or vice versa. If you feel like you're not being respected, heard, that's going to cause an issue in that front. And I'm seeing a lot of defensiveness specifically on your NS, where it's almost like I'm hearing the phrase, "You should know better than to do this." Like it's like you say something and it's repeated, and you repeat yourself multiple times on that lesson, and it's almost like, why am I still repeating myself? That's that's where we're going to go to on that. Okay. Now, what's really interesting is the card of the past. And that is you guys had more fun initially when you were before you got married. That fiance phase was really really important to you because you were learning what each other brought to the table, and kind of this youthfulness, this vitality that you had in the relationship, almost kind of like this two childhood friends coming together. That was almost more important than you getting into that relationship itself. But something is stagnated. So what is stagnated? Well, what's stagnated is there's not a lot of you and him time. There's not a lot of we time. There's a lot of isolation. There's a lot of inner contemplation that's going on, and there's also a lack of being able to share feelings, emotions, stories coming together. It's that participation card again that the foundation is coming up in the present, which is the Three of Swords here as the isolation card. Now, one thing I do want to throw out here is that this isolation, it's something that is internal, and it's a choice that's made based off of path design and where basically where your soul path was previously. So if in previous lifetimes you didn't have the abilities to communicate loyalty, dedication, caring, compassion, uh, if you didn't have the abilities to do that, what you're going to find is that as you pass on from that life to the next life, you're going to repeat the same process over and over again. It's going to be a situation where you just set yourself up for the same karmic lesson. And I see this more in his end than your end. And I'm gonna and the reason why is it goes back to that phrase I said here: tools in the toolbox to handle situations. If you're not used to confronting your feelings or have a moment where you're open and honest about what's going on, what's going to happen is that you're basically trying to play a poker hand that you've never played before, and the universe is like saying, no, you need to fold here, and universe is saying you need to fold, you need to fold, you need to fold, when in actuality really what you need to do is learn how to play the hand, learn how to play the cards that you're dealt here. And I think a lot of that on his end is working through his own personal demons. um, I think that is the most important aspect is going back in and going into what is important. So I kind of want to communicate that specific message. Second aspect that we have going on here is what is the future card here? Well, the future card is both incomplete, but it's also incredibly beautiful too. So it's the Two of Wands. So when it comes down to it, in your heart of hearts, like where your inner is, you still love the guy to death. Like it is you went into it from a till death do you part. His mentality, it wasn't quite necessarily there as much. But I think what's important is to understand perspective and understand growth opportunities and to understand future here. So the cool thing about this Two of Wands here is it has an eagle that's soaring, but it's an incomplete picture because you can't see what's over the mountains. Um, you can see Highlanda. You can see all the possibilities that are there. You can imagine what's over there, but you don't see it. It's much like specifically there's a Three of Wands where it's looking over like a sea. It's looking over and there's like vintage. Um, it's normally somebody standing on the top of a hill with a boulder behind them, and the wands are there as support, but it's incomplete as far as what's beyond the picture. Now this is a little more complete than the three. So this is specifically saying that you have a lot more hopes, ambitions, and dreams about it, and you have it specifically set. And I also do believe that the channel that I'm getting here is you have very specific relationship goals that you have. You have very specific relationship goals that you have, and how you come to them is you go off of what you know how. You go off of what's been shown to you. And that's not necessarily the bad thing here. But I do believe that his genetic disposition is much different than yours. I don't know which one of the two of you has a broken. I'm getting one of you has a broken childhood. Um, I'm pretty sure it's him. Yeah, I'm gonna go with him. But there's a connection with his mom. There's something going on with his mom that's kind of like his. There's a something that you're saying that's connecting that it's like nails on chalkboard. Like if you imagine like somebody just taking their nails and going, as soon as you say a comment, it's like that feeling that just that hits there. That's that's one of the issues here. And I'm thinking that I think he has too much pride to say to you what that phrase is. But there's a couple things that you do, mannerisms that you do, that just absolutely nails on chalkboard. Um, I would I would find a way of figuring out on your own what those things are. Like if you say something or you do something and then all of a sudden you see him get irritated and run the other way, that's specifically for a reason. So focus on it on that side. Um, let's talk about the other aspects of what we got going on. And then what we're going to do once we're done with this is we're going to draw four cards. So we're going to draw two oracles for you now, and one for you, one for your partner, and then two oracles in the future. So the card that kind of represents this relationship though is you are still madly in love with the dude. And what you're hoping to have is you're hoping to have that blending energy come together, kind of like the pagan tradition of hand fasting, where when two people are getting married, their hands are tied together, they're coming together, and it's supposed to be the emperor and empress mentality. Your hands are tied together, your energy is coming together to become one. I act as one. I think that is really awesome. That's where your mentality is. Great, great on there. But I think it's really important to find out what it is that influences that current track. And the current track is you emotionally just want to be there, and you want to be supportive, and you want to be fair. And in order for you to do that, you have to be emotionally all invested, and your heart chakra has to be open, and you have to go into it from a mentality that you're ready to share what your hopes and your dreams are. You have to be ready to be that. This is an end card saying that you emotionally have matured to the point where it's not necessarily about the fight. It's about coming together. And I really also feel the message that he needs to hear a lot more than he's hearing is, just a simple phrase, I love you. Um, I feel like I love you is really, really important right now. How everybody else sees what's going on. This is the court card. It's laziness on here, but it's symbolized by the Nine of Cups. So the Eight of Cups is you letting go of emotions, pushing past. The Nine of Cups is kind of getting to the point where what other people say don't really matter. You are at a point where you are above the fray. And I think this is really talking about the need for both of you to be private and to take care of what's going on internally. I think I think that's and I just don't think you want to share your business. It's just kind of what you do is what you do, and it's really kind of important that you keep those things separate. Now, the hope or fear. This is probably the most interesting card out of the whole card spread that we drew for you. It's the Nine of Swords. Now, in most decks, like in my Witch's Tarot, we call it the Drama Queen card. And the reason it's a Drama Queen card is because there's so much sword action going on that she's missing the beautiful picture outside. She's missing the fact that it's almost the end of the cycle. The Ten of Swords is the end. She's almost there. And she's gone through so much energy where she's pushed past the eight, which is that blind restriction that's there. She's literally pushed past it. And now she's on the back end of it. Um, this is talking about, a fear of never really going. Yeah, you're correct, Linda. I'll be doing lives later tonight. Um, this is talking about going beyond the. I just lost my train of thought. Hold on, let me reconnect. Okay, so this is talking about going beyond the what's been restricting, and it's being at a fear of not moving on, not learning this lesson and keeping repeating that same pattern that the eight is. So the eight it's normally somebody holding. It's somebody that has a whole bunch. They have a blindfold on, and there's a whole bunch of swords around them, and it's supposed to. And their hands are tied. It's supposed to symbolize constriction and not moving forward. That's what this is talking about. This is talking about um, going from that, getting to a point where you can resolve the situation and not doing it. So that's what this is talking about. Now, I like how this card ends though, because this card still ends on the Fool, which is the best one for the relationship for you guys, because it's all about the just being able to step off the cliff and realize, why you originally came together. I really just I want to convey how much love I see on your end here. I see love, I see hope, and I see two different mentalities here. I see one person that's trying to fix, and I see another person who doesn't know how to fix. So I want to say it that way. Doesn't know how to fix. It's not that they can't fix. It's that they don't know how. Um, the idea of change or doing something that's emotionally uncomfortable is something that he hasn't had the tools to deal with. Um, so, in a case where somebody doesn't have the greatest childhood, um, the best example I can give um, is one of my sets of grandparents. Uh, you know, grew up. My dad grew up in a much different mentality. He grew up with four or three sisters, dirt poor, and anytime he would ever express emotion, he'd be called a weak or a sissy or a pansy, and he's never able to communicate when he felt offended, when he felt sad. He was never able to have a lot of things that were his, because his was really ours, and everything that he had was hand me downs or anyway. He didn't have the tools in the toolbox, both on the material possession side and on the emotional side, to know how to be an adult. Um, so he was kind of put back a put back a ways. And through work, through prayer, through faith, through meditation, through working through things, he's been able to kind of go beyond it. So I kind of want to summarize some main channel messages that we're getting here. And and the first one is I like the fact that you see beyond what's in front of you right now. This is a momentary blip. I feel like this is a really like bad fight in a bad time. So I do want to caution you right now. It is Mars retrograde. So I could go and give you an astrological speech on why Mars retrograde sucks, but the main gist of it is, in the grandiose scale of energy work right now, this is a time where everything is volatile. There's a lot of things going on. You want to avoid making decisions. You want to avoid specifically doing things that are, yeah. You want to avoid making major financial decisions. Um, you just want to avoid it. This is a time of reflection. This is a time of coming together and clearing karma. Okay. So I think this is an excellent time for you as a partner to suggest meditation, to suggest working through past demons, and try to do it in a loving way where you say, "Hey, I'm here if you need me," because it's a tough thing. And I sense there's a lot of karma for him that he's trying to clear. There's a lot of things that he doesn't know. There's a lot of things that are scary. Um, yeah, there's something scary, and there's also something on his parents' side that one of his parents passed on it that scares the hell out of him. I don't know if it's a heart attack, something chest based that one of his parents passed on that he's petrified is going to happen to him. Um, I'm specifically seeing like a panic attack from it, kind of like his heart rate going up like this, and I'm seeing just to go beep 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 beep. Like I feel like it's causing anxiety for him whenever that topic comes up. Like I'm getting anxious just talking about it right now. So I want to kind of communicate that. But I want to go over and just kind of do like a general overview of my channel messages that I'm getting, and then I'm gonna draw some oracle cards for you because I think it's sometimes fun to end on an oracle so you can kind of see where your guys' energy is at now, kind of like maybe a life lesson now, and something that you can strive for down the road. So let's go over this really quickly again. We're going to talk about what we had. So we had the Ten of Pentacles to start for you, which just symbolizes how you went into it on an open, hey, I really want this person to be it. I am going all in. I am literally all in on love here. So what crosses it? Well, what crosses it is your need to give up your power and trust and faith that everything will work out in the end. Um, the concept that through work that you do spiritually, you're able to get the strength to overcome anything. That's the master card here. So then we go into what is the basis of the reading, and that is the Four of Wands here. It's important that you take care of yourself, that you're grounded, that you are on even footing, and that in order for you to be there of support, you got to make sure that you are of stat of you need to make sure you're in the center of your thought process, that you're not being influenced by others, that you are in the middle and that you have a straight connection up to source and that you're grounded as well. Grounding is very, very important for you this week. If you do not ground yourself every day when you wake up, find a grounding meditation. Now is more important than ever. That is the foundation of this reading. Take care of yourself spiritually. When you wake up and when you go to bed, you should have two grounding meditations each day, right around 10 minutes a pop, depending on how much you need. Some people need a little more, some people can do it in 3 or 4 minutes. But make that connection when you wake up that you are immediately going to do that spiritual work. Card of the past is going to be it's the Page of Pentacles, but it's the adventure card. So you went into this relationship, and there was so much love and I hate saying lust, but there was so much fun in that early honeymoon phase of your relationship, like that. Hey, I just got proposed to. We're setting up the date, and then it's kind of fizzled out over time. And the reason is not that the love has been lost. It's that there's just so much more to being a partner than it is to having a relationship. Um, I really kind of want to go to that. Don't be scared by the fact that this is the card of the past, because this is saying that that what you've done is for a reason. Like you had to have that foundation and that just energy where went out there for to grow, basically. All right. All right. Alrighty. Anyway, let's. I'm gonna pause for a second here, clear my space, so I can actually send you the link for this. Here, hold on. Anyway, all right. So let's finish up where we're gonna go here. So the card that is right now the present is going to be the Three of Swords. So The Three of Swords energy is basically talking about him specifically, but it's tools and toolbox. Um, it is not being able to process what's in front because he's never been able to do that in the past. So it's kind of an evolution point on his end here. Um, I think this is a really good chance for you to bond off of um, ways you can come together. Uh, this isolation is a choice that he's doing because it's a shell. It's a shell where he's not used to being exposed to these sort of risks, these fights, these arguments, this karma. What's in front? So when he's in this mode, the first thing he's got to do is he's got to retreat, and he's got to take some time, and he's got to be in his space. That's the most important thing. Now, card of the future was the Two of Wands here. This goes back to incomplete visions, but beautiful visions. So you have hopes and dreams that are still there. Don't give up on the hope of what's in front of you just because it hasn't come up as much as you have. I do still see you being with this person. I believe that in the end of the day, your love, your heart space is still strong, and I do believe love wins in the end. I'm just going to leave it at that. So how you see yourself in the situation is you see this soulmate mentality that you came in together. You viewed this as two energies blending into one, um, and you went into there off the space that you can do that. That is most important. That is what defines your relationship is the fact that you guys are one. You are a couple. You're known as the Millers or you're known as the Smiths, but you are a combined unit. You are a power couple. You are strength and that is the most important aspect of what you're hoping to achieve, what you want to imprint now is you want to be there, but you also want him to be there for you, and you want to have this equal relationship where each party is equally supporting of that each person has a foundation. Now in this reading we've talked a lot about what I'm seeing for him as far as tools and toolbox, because I think right now that's the most important part is specifically taking some inventory and realizing where you're at opposed to where he's at. And I think that's really important. The other aspect is you this part that you have to have your heart space open for what's going around. You can't be a supportive partner if you're not able to take care of yourself. Um, so really just focus on having love and light in your heart space and your heart chakra. If you feel like you're upset and things are not going well, take a moment where you step outside, go on YouTube, do a heart chakra meditation. Open up your heart chakra, allow yourself to clear what's blocking that energy right now. How everybody sees the relationship, the court, is they specifically see you moving past the point of giving a shit about what others think. That's the honest channel message on it. It's not about what Susie or Fred says about your relationship. It's about what you truly know in your space. Hope or fear card. This would be the fear. The fear is not moving past, allowing events and things to continue and not push further. But the end, though, is you have to go back to that honeymoon phase of as far as what is that brought you happiness in it. And what brought you happiness was that Page of Pentacles energy, kind of that fiance mentality where you went back and you really discovered what made you fall in love. Um, and same thing with the Ten of Cups there under your card here. Figure out what it is that made your heart chakra open up, that drew you to this person. Um, that's what we have here today. And we're going to do some oracles here for you today too. All right. So oracles for today, we're going to do one for each of you. And then we're going to do one for down the road because I think it's really important when we're talking about relationships. We see a lesson now and we see a lesson in the future. So yours right now, oh yeah, that's his. All right. Hi, Sonia. Now, the good thing about this video is it stays the whole length. So you can see it. Um, Oracle card for you right now is follow your passion, follow your heart. Goes back to what I was talking about, opening up your heart chakra. Uh, if you feel it kind of closing out, realize that that's something that you can work on just by doing some meditative work and taking some points where you just slow down and you shut out the noise. His energy is overwhelmed. He's got the dove. Um, he's not really hearing a lot of messages right now. He's not really communicating. He's not really spiritually active. It's important that he also uses a little bit of what your card is and finds his passion, but he needs to find what makes him whole right now. Take some inventory, slow down, and really just kind of take some beauty moments where he's able to do something that he's passionate on and kind of go back to what it is. Now, your card for the future, kind of your Sonia, what to look forward to, kind of a lesson here is going to be the buffalo. So understand that God, spirit, pick a word choice, love and light, it puts you in this position because you're meant to be a teacher and a you're meant to be a teacher here. You're meant to be somebody who shares how you guys blend together and you're able to heal a lot of those old wounds that I talked about earlier. Um, so he doesn't have the tools in the toolbox because of things that have happened in the past. However, you have the ability to heal that because you're bringing a different light, a different vibration, and you're teaching him how to love in a different manner than what he's used to. His card is going to be the seal. So he's got to find what brings him light right now. Life has given him options, life has given him drama, life has given him choices, life has given him all these tasks that have happened up into the road. But if he doesn't take a moment and realize what in his core makes him happy, what is his way of slowing down, of taking care of himself, whether it's fishing, whether it's sports, whether it's drawing a picture, whether it's mountain biking, camera, taking pictures, photography, it doesn't really matter what it is. If he cannot find in his core what makes him creative and what makes him stick out, then he's going to struggle. It's all about realizing what his gifts are. Uh, and I think you know what his gifts are, and I'm not going to go into a long speech on it. But what I want to communicate is he has to find this on his own, and he has to have this time to where he can find it. So I will tell you, this is a live stream here, but this records the whole thing. So you can go back and watch the whole 34-minute reading. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, yes. But this is my first reading of 2 for the day, and then we're going to do a mediumship one in a little bit. But I want to wish you guys love and light. If you're watching this and you like what I do and you want to get a reading from me, just feel free to message me on Facebook. I'll let you know my rates and availability. And I'm also going to be running a buy one, get one half off special for August. So that means if you bring a piece of business to me, uh, your reading would be half off, basically. So that's what we got going on. Let me know if you have any questions. Follow me safe, and we'll go from there. Have a good one now.